You know that God has a calling on your life. You know that your integrity matters. You know that there's things you should be doing, things that you ought to be doing, things that you probably need to start doing. But maybe, like me, you struggle with perfectionism. Maybe you're waiting for the right moment. Maybe you're waiting for the right time. Maybe you're waiting for the right confirmation from the Lord before you do it. And maybe, without realizing it, you're actually just procrastinating. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the tension between waiting and being proactive and taking action. We're going to use some scripture actually in a really powerful way. And we're going to talk about some practical things that you can do to walk this out to ensure that you are always in line with God's plans, not being too patient and procrastinating, but also not taking too much action and being in a hurry. It's going to be an awesome episode, and I'm super excited to jump in. If you don't know who I am, my name's Sathiya Sam. I'm the host of this incredible podcast, The Man Within, and I've dedicated the last 7 years of my life to helping men like you walk in freedom, integrity, and purpose, and I'm going to help you do that just a little bit more in the time that we have left together today. It's going to be amazing. This episode is actually inspired by my pastor, who has now been on the podcast. Back in December, I interviewed him. I'm just pulling up some scripture here, so if you see my eyes darting on YouTube, this was a scripture that he taught out of many years ago. And, he just, some of his messages are just timeless, man. They kind of just stick with you. And so I wanted to share this revelation that is really his, and it's kind of just my own spin on it. But I want to give credit where credit is due, and Pastor Matt Tapley of Lake Mount Worship Center is the one who kind of pioneered this idea that I'm about to teach you. One of the things that we help a lot of our clients with in both our one-on-one coaching program Signature and in our community-based brotherhood, Deep Clean Inner Circle, is taking action, overcoming perfectionism. And so many guys in the program struggle with perfectionism. They know the thing to do, but then they feel like, I can't quite do it perfectly, so I'm not going to do anything at all. And something I will often ask a guy who's struggling with perfectionism is, hey, is there an area in your life that you're like pretty successful, or that you've had some pretty decent advancements and developments? And they'll say, yeah, in my career or in my relationship, or I have a friendship here that's really thriving. And then I ask, did you wait for every single step that you took to get to where you are now in that area? Did you wait until everything was perfect? And they smile. Well, no, I can actually do that. And so I said, well, how far do you want to get down this recovery journey? Do you want to get to a life of freedom? Yeah, of course I do. So do you think you're going to do it being perfect, taking every single right step? And it suddenly becomes very clear that this kind of fear of doing something wrong, or this perfectionism, is actually causing major, major hindrances. Now, I say all of that to say to you and to share to you, my friend, that we want to make sure that as believers, we are towing the line of being patient, waiting on the Lord, not moving in haste, not rushing. But we also want to make sure that we are not delaying in the name of perfectionism, when really it's actually procrastination. And I believe that the way we do this is through Isaiah 40, verse 31. Okay? Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Okay, I want you to just pay attention to the scripture. Okay? See, a lot of people say like, yes, wait on the Lord, right? So we got to kind of just sit here with our hands out and sing Kumbaya and, Jesus, I'm waiting on you, right? And it kind of creates this perfectionistic procrastination kind of dilemma, I would say. Now, if we continue to read the verse, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So we actually are strong when we wait. But watch this, because then the verse goes on to kind of paint a picture of what it looks like to wait. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Okay, does that sound like passive, sitting on the couch waiting to you? They shall run, not walk, not give it a shot. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So there's the walk part. It comes in later. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So most of you listening deal with perfectionism, and it leads to procrastination. If your perfectionism leads to procrastination, you have a problem, okay? That's not how that's supposed to work. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do things quality, not wanting to be in haste, but if it's leading to procrastination, your perfectionism is a problem. And the solution is action. You have to start taking some action. Imperfect action is greater than perfect action because imperfect action moves things forward. Imperfect action gives us data. It gives us raw material that we can work with to learn from, to grow, and to make improvements along the way. There's a famous story that's told about a pottery class that they divided into two cohorts. And the one class, they said, your guys' goal, you have one project for this class, and that is to make one really beautiful pot by the end. So you can take all the time you need. Every time we're together, you can work on it, and you can, really like focus on just the tiny little pieces of detail and get everything right, and you're going to be evaluated on what you produce at the end. And to the other group, they said, your job is to make as many as you can. This is a volume game, and here's the design that we're after, and they kind of had some prototypes and whatever. And what they found is that the volume group, by the end of the semester, they were producing much better quality pottery than the people that just had the full semester to make one pot. All those pots were better, but even more so, they had greater volume of them. And this is the power of imperfect action. Those guys that were volume-based, they weren't thinking about making the perfect pot right away. They were just starting to make it. But iteration after iteration, imperfect action after imperfect action, in the same length of time as somebody who was just calculating the perfect action, they had a way better result and they had way better volume or way better quantity. So this, my friend, is the power of imperfect action. Now, here's the revelation. I took enough time to get here. Those who wait on the Lord. We often think of waiting as this passive thing. But when you go to a restaurant, you have somebody, right? They come and they see you, and then they assign to you a server or a waiter. Now, what is a waiter's job? To wait on you, right? Not in this passive, slow, kumbaya way. To wait on you, to figure out what it is that you need, to answer any questions you have, to put the order into the kitchen, to deliver that food, to essentially make sure that you are serviced properly. And what if our waiting on the Lord was the same? What if we waited on God? We took these moments to wait on Him, to ask Him, Lord, where are you guiding me? Where are you directing me? God, what steps do you want me to take? Let's forget about my comfort zone and what I want to do. God, what do you want me to do? And if we waited on God with that kind of mentality, I just wonder what kind of fruit that might lead to in our lives. So for those of you that are moving in haste, maybe you need to slow down a little bit and wait on the Lord, the way we just talked about it. And for those of you that are struggling with perfectionism leading to procrastination, be proactive. Ask the Lord for wisdom on how to move forward. Because, James says, faith without works is dead. And my favorite way to say it is, if faith without works is dead, then faith with works, taking that imperfect action, is deadly. And that's what this is about at the end of the day. So my friend, hopefully this gives you some thoughts, some ideas on what your next step might be. If you have been waiting for the perfect step to quit porn this year, stop it. Take some imperfect action. Go check out some of the resources we have available to you. If you want a starter, you can start with The Last Relapse. If you're ready to join a brotherhood of men pursuing the freedom, join Deep Clean Inner Circle. You can get coached by me and join an incredible community for less than $2 a day. Or if you're really ready to take things to the ultimate level, to stack the odds in your favor of a full recovery, you can check out Deep Clean Inner Circle, our one-on-one coaching program. Deep Clean Signature, our one-on-one coaching program. All of these are ways for you to take a next step, to move things forward, to not just wait passively, but to wait proactively with movement forward and momentum in the right direction. That's what this is about at the end of the day. That's everything. God bless you, my man. I'll see you in the next one.